What's up, guys? Welcome back to IAM Real Estate, and in today's video we're going to be talking about purchasing a property with tenants inside of it. Okay, in my last video we talked about selling or listing a property with tenants inside. Today's going to be the opposite. I want to cover both sides. So purchasing a property with tenants in it. Now you can be the buyer, you can be the buyer's agent. Doesn't really matter. These steps all are still the same as the agent. I always like to say, kind of step up for your client and step up, and you should handle these things, but it is what it is. If you're the buyer watching this video and you think that this is going to be helpful, then you should follow these steps and you can take that initiative as well, all right? So the very first thing I want to talk about is right after you guys have already seen the property, all right? You saw it on MLS, you saw it on Zillow, whatever, you set up your showing, and you go in there and you're feeling out the house, and all right, cool, you're still interested in the property. Good news, right? So the very next thing that you're going to do as soon as you leave, you are going to tell your agent, or as the agent, you're going to text the listing agent and say, call the listing agent, email the listing agent, whatever, however you're going to communicate with them. And you are going to ask the listing agent for a rent roll, okay? Anybody who out there who does not know what a rent roll is a simple document that all landlords should have. So if you own some type of property, or if you are some type of property manager, you should have a rent roll. And a rent roll shows every apartment's payment up until that date, okay? So let me kind of explain that. I might have worded it weird, okay? So if you're owning a 2-family, 3-family, single family, 10-family, 100-family, whatever, 100 apartment building, whatever, a rent roll is going to show where everybody's payments are, when they've been, how much they've been for every single apartment. If you have a 3-family, you should have 3 different rent rolls, okay? If you have a 2-family, 2 different rent rolls, and they should show the dates that the payments were made, how much payments were made, how long they've been there, all right? Along with your rent roll, guys, you're also going to request a lease for every single apartment, all right? So we put rent roll / lease, all right? And the reason we ask for the lease is because you want to understand what every single apartment's rules that they've agreed to, okay? Are they allowed to have pets? Does it include water? Does it include electric? Does that fall on you when you become the owner or whatever? So you want to ask for rent rolls, and you want to ask for everybody's lease. Review these pretty, detailed. Make sure that you're paying it meticulously, I should say, not detailed. Review these pretty meticulously. You want to understand what's going on. Again, if you are in a 2-family, 3-family, it should be boom, 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 kind of going through it pretty quick. If you're buying a very, very large apartment building, it's going to take you a little bit of time, but those sales take some time anyway. So you got the rent roll, you got the lease. You're still cool with them. You're still good with everything. You're going to move forward. All right, great. Next thing you're going to do is you are going to request in your offer that you are allowed to meet all of the tenants, okay? Request to meet tenants. Now, guys, again, if you're buying a large apartment building with 50, 100, 150 apartments in it, and you have 150 tenants, you're probably not going to take the time to meet all of those tenants. That's a very, very busy, scary thought. But if you are buying a 2-family, 3-family, single family, 4-family, even maybe like a 10-family, you can make the time, and you should request to meet those tenants. Put it in your offer. Make sure it's clear, listen, I want to meet the tenants prior to closing. Once you do meet the tenants, just have a conversation with them. This doesn't need to be a hard-fought battle. It doesn't need to walk in and hey guys, I'm the new guy and you need to put on a tough guy act. No, just go in there. Going there like a friend. You're just meeting them. You're building some type of rapport, and that's all this is about, is building rapport. Letting them know that you're going to be the new owner. You don't plan on changing that much. And even if you guys do plan on changing anything, don't talk about it now. We're going to talk about that later, okay? Don't talk about it now. Just give yourself an opportunity to meet them. It doesn't need to be a half-hour meeting. It can be a 2-minute, 3-minute meeting. Hey, how's it going? I'm the new owner. Let me know if you have any questions going forward, things like that. Some fun stuff. Again, building rapport, giving them the opportunity to meet you, and giving a good first impression, okay? Hopefully they give you a good first impression. If they don't, that's something you could throw in your back pocket. But just giving them a good first impression. Last thing you want to do is piss off a tenant. You buy the property, now they're not paying rent, right? So, number 3, okay? This part is really, really important, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and put it up there. A detailed inspection. Now, anybody who's ever seen any of my other videos, guys, you're gonna know I always say don't skip inspection, don't skip inspection, don't skip inspection. When you're buying a multi-family property, or when you're buying a property with other tenants inside, don't skip inspection. And don't skip a detailed inspection, okay? Make sure you get yourself a good inspector. I've been in a situation where we've gone under contract with a multifamily or with a property with tenants inside, and you walk through it, and when you guys walk through on your initial showings, it's very, very likely that you walk through, you kind of look, okay, it looks nice, okay, it looks good, fine, let's move forward, right? But when you're going through your inspection, you really want to take the opportunity to move the beds, to move the desk, to move, you know, the bookshelf if possible. You don't want to obviously disrupt or break anybody else's stuff, but you want to give yourself the opportunity to understand what the condition of each apartment is, all right? Whether you're buying a 3-family and you're like, okay, I'm going to live on the first floor, the other 2 floors, you're not going to be in there every day. You're probably not going to be in there every week, so you don't understand the condition that they're in. You want to understand the condition of the property that you're buying, especially when there's going to be other people living in there, right? You don't know how those people are on a day-to-day basis. You don't know the way that they act. So you just want to understand the condition of the property. And especially if you have long-term tenants. If you have long-term tenants and like, so say you're buying a 3-family and the 3rd floor tenant has been there for 15 years. I've seen it before it happens, and you walk in there and it's immaculate, right? It's like, oh, okay, these people really take care of their stuff. But if you walk in there and it's absolute dump, it's like, all right, man, come on. Like, these tenants, you know, they might not take care of it the way that you want to. And again, that's some information that you can throw in your back pocket and do with it as you will. But make sure you guys do it a detailed inspection, okay? The funny thing about it, doing inspections with tenants inside, guys, is they are always going to be 100% upfront about everything that's wrong with the house, okay? They're going to give you every single little detail. Oh, this little scratch in the wall and that little hole and that little leak and this and that and whatever, okay? I promise you it's going to happen. They're going to give you every single little thing wrong with the apartment. And use that to your advantage, okay? Put it in your back pocket. Again, building rapport, okay? You're obviously gonna have a post-inspection period where you can conversate with the seller and conversate with the listing agent and figure things out from there. But a detailed inspection is really, really important, okay, guys? So this is where we're gonna kind of slide down the scale and slide toward closing, right? Because tenants aren't really gonna be involved in your post-inspection. Tenants aren't gonna be involved in your appraisal. Tenants are not gonna be involved when, you know, you're coming up and you're doing all your deposits or whatever. So coming up towards closing is happening. Today is the days of closing. All right, congratulations. You've now purchased the property. All right, hopefully it's an investment. It is an investment if there's tenants inside, right? So closing, we're gonna put closing, okay? 4, closing. We're gonna put bullet points, okay? This is where you are going to request to share information, or I'm sorry, not share information, but you're going to request contact information for each tenant, okay? Contact info each tenant. All right, now the reason we do it down here and we don't do it up here, for anybody wondering it in their head, you don't want to share contact information up here because it's somebody else's property, it's somebody else's tenants. At this point, hey, listen, I own the property, just bought it today, I just want to get your contact information. All right, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Please contact me if you guys have any questions. Please contact me if there's anything that you guys need, and vice versa, right? So this is where you're going to request that contact information. Again, this is another opportunity just to build rapport. All right, guys? You guys want to start off on a good foot. All this time, the tenants know that you're coming in. You go in there, say, hey, what's up? Now it's official. I own the property. So can I just have your contact information? Ask them how they want to communicate. You might find older tenants that really are only interested in you calling. You might find tenants that are only interested in you texting, whatever, unless there is an emergency, okay? So after you get the contact information, all right, now you know the tenants, all that fun stuff, whatever. This is also an opportunity where you're going to want to lay down any new rules that are pertaining to the property, okay? I'm just going to put that, new rules. Any new rules. Now, you can't extenuate it. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but you can't be super extensive about it because, remember, they have a lease. And now that you've taken interest in the property, and now that the property is yours, you still have to abide by that lease until those leases are up. So just kind of give it to them like, hey, listen, these are some rules we want to try to abide by going forward, okay? Again, don't be extensive. You got to be accommodating. This is their home, all right? I said it in the last video. When you're purchasing a property and other people are living in it, even if you're going to live in the first floor and you got 2 other floors, you got to understand you're still affecting 2 other people's lives, okay? That's 2 other people. And that's their homes, and you have to be accommodating, guys. All right, so you want to talk about any new rules that are going to be in place. And you might find tenants who are assholes and like, oh, whatever, I have a lease and you can't tell me shit and whatever. All right, cool, that's fine. We'll talk about it when your lease is up then. There's nothing else you can really do at that point, all right? So The final thing I also want to talk about, and this is something I always tell people when I have conversations with them when they're considering purchasing a multifamily. This is a big one right here. At this point, it's also a really, really good idea to talk about raising rent, all right? It's a scary thought. It's like, damn, my first day, and I'm already going to talk about raising rent. Yes, you want to get it done your first day, all right? Listen, I'm going to be raising the rent, okay? Now, when you guys are raising rent, this is another really, really important thing. Don't raise it $200, $300, $400 in one light switch, right? That's just ridiculous. There's very, very few people out there that's going to go from paying $800 to $1,500 or $800 to $1,200 like that. No, that's a huge difference. You have to understand it. Again, you have to be accommodating of the fact that these are people's lives. But that very first day, you do have that conversation like, listen, there's very likely I'm going to be raising the rent. Do you raise the rent that day? No. You give them some type of 90 to 120 day notice. Let me write it down real quick, guys. Raising rent. We're going to put conversation. Okay? So, you're going to raise the rent. You're going to have the conversation. You want to say, listen, I'm going to raise it $50. I'm going to be raising it $100. I'm going to be raising it $75, whatever it's going to be. But I'm not going to be raising it today. I'm going to be raising the rent in 90 to 120 days. I just want to give you a heads up that this is very likely what's going to be happening. And sometimes you're going to get tenants that say, hey, listen, all right, I can afford that. I'm going to start looking for a new place. All right, perfectly fine. As long as we're understanding, that's why I'm giving you the heads up. Some people are going to be like, oh, well, I don't like it. But, okay, some people are going to be like, all right, yeah, no, wait, that's fine, all right? You're going to get backlash for it. There's going to be people who hate you for it, whatever. But sometimes you got to do that to make the monies work, right? So, again, this is when you have the conversation about getting contact information, about new rules, new potential rules, and raising rent, having that conversation again, all right, guys? These are just a couple of the major things that I always really advise my buyers to go through, and a couple of the things that I always say, hey, listen, this is the way that we need to get it done. Especially down here, guys, like this piece is so important to me and to a lot of buyers that I talk to that are potentially buying multifamilies. And even if you guys are buyers agents out there and you have somebody that comes to you and says, hey, listen, I want to purchase a multifamily and this is my first multifamily I'm purchasing. It's going to be an investment. Have this conversation up front, like, all right, cool, listen, this is how we're going to get it done when you're purchasing a property with tenants in it. Okay, guys? Because sometimes you have this conversation with people and they're like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. This helped me a lot. So, full transparency, guys. That's why I make videos. This is just information that I've used. This is the way that I would go about it. This is the way that I always tell my clients to go about it. If you guys agree or if you guys disagree, just leave them in the comments section. I really, really appreciate the feedback. Always appreciate the love, guys. Share this video. Appreciate all you guys. And I'll see you again real soon.